There's a physical one in this one, but spiritual, I think. In verse 10, it says, "And when you have eaten and are satisfied, praise the Lord your God for the good land he has given you. Be careful that you do not forget the Lord your God, failing to observe his commandments, his commands, his laws, and his decrees that I am giving you this day. Otherwise, when you eat and are satisfied, when you build fine houses and settle down, and when your herds and flocks grow large, and your silver and gold increases, and all you have is multiplied, then your heart will become proud, and you will forget the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery, who led you through the vast and dreadful wilderness, that thirsty and waterless land with its venomous snakes and scorpions. He brought you water out of the rock." And it keeps going from there. But one of the things he tells them, he's like, be thankful for what God has given you. Because if not, he's like, you're going to forget. He's like, after and he's telling them this, and this is something that happens to them. They go and they take the promised land, and that first generation that takes the promised land, they're grateful, they're growing, they're being led by judges, but then all of a sudden you see they need a king, and they've forgotten who God is. They've forgotten that piece, because what happened? Their flocks grew, they're eating, they're satisfied, they got gold, they got silver, everything they have is multiplying, they're becoming this great nation, and they forget who God is. They forget that God brought them out of Israel, right? And you see that constantly happening throughout, from the time they're there through the books of the Judges, and then you see it in the Kings, and that's why even like a great example of it is you see it up to the point where they're there and they're facing Goliath. They're facing one giant when their ancestors came in and faced a whole bunch of giants to take it over. And you see that because they've forgotten. And that's one of the things, like when our gratefulness is based on a circumstance, or we can get comfortable. And the way it ties to spirituality is we're not constantly grateful for who God is. We can get into this routine of a relationship with God, and somewhere down the line our gratefulness will stop, because we're not seeking who he is and his characteristics and continuously getting to know him, but it becomes a routine, and it could be